Today's how to build is on a green meteor and the orange star. I'm going to start with the orange star, which is totally cheating because there's not a single official Lego actual connection in this. What it is 5 orange cheese slopes and 1 orange 1x1 tile held together by putty. It's called blue tack by some people. I call it animating putty. I use it to keep things in place when I'm animating, and I used it to make this star. I think these cheese slopes are really cool. This is not really a build, but it's a cool little decorative piece that showed up very briefly in Orange Beats Binary, and someone asked for it, so that's how I made the star. Now on to the meteor. So I should say that this meteor is not exactly the same way it was built in the video, because I tore it apart after the video, and because it's such a random build, had a lot of trouble getting anything that was remotely close back together. But I did my best putting something back together that looked the same, and gonna take you through sort of what makes it up. So as you can see, the outside is a whole bunch of lime green bricks, some which are Duplo size, some which are regular size, and they're all sort of pointing every which way. So the real key feature of this is what allows everything to point every which way. So I'm just gonna take off some of these pieces here, and you'll see that the inside is a very convoluted Technic core. And I didn't really plan out this build. I knew that I wanted to make a big green meteor, and I had some Duplo pieces and some other lime green pieces, but you know, I didn't have any idea of what angle it should be, but I wanted it to be sort of random. So I took some Technic connectors and just started sticking them together in all sorts of different ways to get different angles, and then this was the result. So I won't take all the pieces off, but let me pull apart one of the main connections here. So the thing I started with is one of these 3-way connectors. And I did that because, you know, that's going to be a 120-degree angle in each direction, which is an unusual angle for Lego, which is going to more likely be, you know, 90 degrees most of the time, or but certainly not 120 most times. And I used different types of these axle-to-axle turning connectors. This is a number 5. Number 5 is what I have the most of, but so I had one going that way, and this one I twisted to go in that direction so that these are even further in weird directions. And over here I took one that was 90 degrees and 90 degrees from that, and then on the connectors I would stick pins in the holes and then stick other connectors onto that, and which means that I can then twist it at any arbitrary angle I want, and then I would stick more connectors at different angles on there, and more connectors again which are on pins so I can rotate them to weird angles. And yeah, I just made a whole bunch of messy connections. And whenever I had an axle connection at the end, I would just stick a 2x2 brick on there, or in this case, axle brick, or a pin in the pinholes. And let me try and put this back together now. Was it like that? So yeah, now that I've put this together probably in a different way, it won't even look the same again, but let me show you some interesting Lego to Duplo connections if you're not aware of them currently. So a 2x2 Lego brick can fit very nicely on the stud of a Duplo brick, because this big piece goes around that round hole. or on tube rather. And you can do the same thing with 2x4s if you want. And also, Duplo bricks will fit nicely on system bricks. So this is not the strongest connection, but if you had a whole long line of bricks, it would be a pretty firm connection. But what I've done here is taken a gray 4x8 plate, which fits very nicely into this 2x4 Duplo brick, because it's exactly double. And then that allows me to just make nice system connections sort of directly to the Duplo brick. So my recommendation, if you want to build a Meteor with weird bricks coming off at various angles, is to get some Technic connectors, build a weird core, and then just start building off of that. That's definitely how I built the first one, and like I said, I attempted to recreate it, and it was very difficult to get it the exact same because there was no sort of plan I followed for the first one. And now as I took this apart, I won't even be able to get it back the way it was. But, you know, just add on some angles, fill in the spaces as well as you can. Let's just use like a 2x4 here and another 2x4 there. Fill this up with a big Duplo brick, another Duplo brick, and then this will be a nice big mass of bricks here. And I should say, whatever you do, it's probably not going to be very stable. The Meteor I built was very fragile, which is why I took it apart, because I wouldn't be able to keep it together. And this one is looking to be even more disconnected and weird than the first two. But the nice thing about building a Meteor is that they are big chunks of rock, so they're gonna look weird anyway. So looking weird is actually a good thing when it comes to building Meteors. If it was just a sphere, well, that wouldn't really be a Meteor. Oh, and down here I put a axle going through this 2x2 brick that has a pin coming out of it. And then I used some axle connectors down there when I was shooting with this, so it was always connected to the ground by some axles, which, since it was against a black background, didn't show up. But that's how I was able to actually film with it when it's falling out of the sky. And this is a big area I'll not be able to cover up very well. Let's just throw this on top. This is a big old mess now. Well, this is a very ugly Meteor. I hope yours is as ugly as this one. Because like I said, when it comes to building Meteors, they should look weird. And that is today's very unusual how to build.